Hey Shooby-Doodlers, now my Dragon trilogy is complete with Dragon Gold, Dragon White and Dragon Red. I thought I'd tell you a little about how it came to write them. And one thing when you're writing a story, particularly with this, the place is a really important aspect of it. And I call the place where Harry, who's the hero, lives, I call it St Gertrude's. And it's kind of an ancient town, and people come there, and there's sort of holy water and things like that they come to. And I've very kind of, well, more than loosely based St Gertrude's on a town called Holywell, which is in North Wales, which is where my grandmother was born. And I took my camera there recently, and I thought I'd show you the place that kind of inspired the background of the story, and it almost became a character in the story in itself. This is the High Street in Holywell, which I'm sure my grandmother would recognise, even though it's changed quite a lot.
This is very much the old kind of Victorian High Street. It's seen better days. Oh, that's a beautiful building there. Oh, it all needs to be poked up a bit, up the red line up there. It's not fair. Look here, this is old. Look, AG 1702. These little characters up there. It's an old place.
Now, in my Dragon White story, and I imagine them all going down this lane behind me here.
It all goes down to St Winifred's Well. I imagine a huge, great civic parade with everybody all dressed up. There's the bishop, Lady Bishop, leading the way, taking you down to St Winifred's Well.
In my story, it's called St Gertrude's Well, and I've amalgamated this town with various others, as Machynlleth and Portmadog, all sorts of places. I've amalgamated into this one town, but I call it St Gertrude's. And but this is the kind of the heart of it all, with St Winifred's Well at Holywell, or Holywell. Okay, I'm going to go down the hill to St Winifred's Well, and I will show you the film, because I went around it last week. I'm too late now, they'll be closed, but luckily I went around it last week and filmed it, so I'll show you what it's all about. Look, blue sky, just a tiny bit, and across there is St Winifred's Well, where I'm just going to go and take you. St Winifred's Well is known as the Lourdes of Wales, and you can see people have come, swum in the waters and walked and left their crutches behind. And this is the healing pool at St Winifred's Well, and you can go in there. In the summer they have rather rinky-dinky little changing room tents up along on the other side there. There we are, you can kind of step down into the pool there, and if you come inside you can see the actual spring where the water bubbles up from down below. And there is St Winifred, and the story is that her suitor was so enraged when she decided she was going to become a nun and not marry him that he drew his sword and chopped her head off. And her head rolled down the hill, and where it stopped at this very spot, a spring of water sprang out of the rock and has been pouring out there ever since. And here we are, and this is the very pool where the water comes out, and you can see the water shimmering away there. So that's kind of where the inspiration for the story comes. My story isn't quite so gruesome, but here's a little kind of trench where you can step in one side and come out the other, and you can see these fantastic bits of sort of graffiti that had been there for centuries. In the old days, people used to do graffiti in very, very stylishly. And here's another view. You can really see the water bubbling up in the pool. And here is the swimming pool from the other angle. Even more graffiti. Look, RO 1721. That is old. And if that was classy lettering, nowadays I'm afraid people just come and scratch their initials on without any art at all. This is St Winifred's Chapel up above and on the other side, and right the way along there are these little carvings which are rather ancient and not very Christian, but very, very weathered, so you can hardly tell what they are. And here's inside the church, which was built about in the 7th century or something like that, but it had these incredible wings and galleries added on in about 1769, 70 or something like that. It's a stupendous building. And while I was filming in Holywell, I was staying in Rhuddlan, at a place I've stayed a few times before, and I suddenly realised this castle here, Rhuddlan Castle, is also the inspiration of St Gertrude's Tower in the story. It just looks so like the one in my memory, and I've driven past it many times. It must have just gone into my memory, and maybe mixed up with a couple of other places too, but that round tower. And here is
Harry climbing up the side of the tower, being watched by the police. Shouldn't they be stopping him? Here is Tan and Harry inside the prison where Tan is allowed to live. The law wanted to destroy Tan, but in the end, the law said he was allowed to live as long as he stayed inside Castle Gertrude. So in this book, a sense of place is very, very important, and I hope I've demonstrated how sort of places inspire stories. Thanks for watching, and you can support this channel and get so much more on my Patreon page. Click to find out more. Make sure you are subscribed to the Shoo Rayner Drawing Channel on YouTube, and in the meantime, keep drawing, practice, and I'll see you next time. You take care now. Bye bye.